I made Pizza Hut in VR. Well, I did McDonald's and Subway, so it was only a matter of time until I made another popular fast food chain. And you know, I've made these types of VR games before, but this one was way harder and more difficult than I imagined, especially when optimizing it for the Quest. But before all of that, we need to start from the beginning, where I start by modeling the kitchen. But of course, just like with Subway, I can't just model it on my own. I have to go there to see all the small details for myself. So after ordering the classic cheese pizza, I got in the car and I drove to Pizza Hut. I arrived at Pizza Hut and looked at some of the details. You can see on the walls there are plates showing how big the pizza sizes are and a little section where customers can sit. And I modeled both of these in. And I also looked at reference photos. I recreated this I love pizza image on the wall in Photoshop. I think it looked pretty good. Let's get this out of the way. I need to name the game. So, you know, I don't get sued by Pizza Hut. I can't name it Pizza Hut VR. So, Pizza Hat. Get it? Because the logo, it looks like a hat, so I'm saying. And there's also another reason why I'm making this, because I've actually made this before. Yeah, a long time ago. I used this website called Scratch. Some of you may have heard of it. It's basically a kid's website where you can program games using visual scripting and learn how to code. And turns out I did make a Pizza Hut game, and it was called Catastrophe Pizza Place Maker 1. I think I was trying to spell catastrophe. I take a look at this great game. So we got lots of different ingredients. Let's get cheese. How to okay, let's just add a bit more. That looks interesting. Let's get to how do you make it pour? Okay, it just starts. So that's good. I'm supposed to put the tomato sauce before the cheese. We got like dumplings. I think that's supposed to be garlic. Just put whole cloves of garlic on it. Got this fish. I believe this looks like fish. What is this? Okay, so it looks like this is what we're gonna get. That was this is our pizza. Looks nice. Then I finished modeling the kitchen. So now we can probably test this and it'll be fine. Like, we can just export it to the Quest and it should all be fine. Oh. Guys, it's not that easy. There is a reason why it takes so long to optimize games for the Oculus Quest. You're essentially taking a full PC game and shoving it into a mobile chip, which is very hard. However, it can be accomplished really well. For example, Red Matter 2 VR looks like indistinguishable from its PC VR counterpart by using many neat tricks that make it look better than it actually is. One of them being baked lighting. If you look at your Quest home environment, you can see baked lighting everywhere. In fact, it's the only thing you see. Baked lighting is simply rendering all the lights and then baking all the lights and shadows onto the object's texture. This will save tons of performance because the light isn't being calculated in real time, and there actually is no need because static objects don't move. That's why so many Quest games don't have real-time shadows or moving parts like your hand. And basically all Quest games use baked lighting. So to bake the lighting, all we need to do is press this button. And everything's black. Alright, nice. So after doing a whole bunch of random stuff, it looks okay now and it runs on the Quest, which is the good part. And after making the environment, now we need to start working on some gameplay. Pick up the AJ. AJ! Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be difficult. I modeled compartments where the ingredients would be, and I started off with dough. Now to make pizza dough at Pizza Hut, they grab pre-made balls and just roll it out. And you know, I've actually done this before, so here's a clip of me doing it. It's not that hard, it's just kidding, that's not me. It's actually just a random guy. I modeled the dough and the rolling pin that you can use to hit the dough. So we got the base of the pizza. Now all we need to do is add sauce. Now in my whatever the name is, I just made it so I could click a topping and it pours on the pizza. Very simple, but in VR, interactions are much more complex. First, I need to fill a ladle with sauce and then calculate the angle of the ladle to spawn a particle system of the sauce pour. Then I check when the particle sauce hits the dough and play a separate animation to fill the base of the pizza. yeah, it's really janky, and also the source always fills from the center, so it doesn't even look realistic. Sometimes it doesn't even hit it and it just feels like. I decided to work on the outside environment because my brain could not handle VR. My McDonald's game and Subway game were like boring. The Subway one was in the mall, and the McDonald's one, it was in a McDonald's. So this time we're going to space, kind of like Pizza Planet, but on the moon, you know? So I posted this to my community, and they asked, how are you going to breathe? Well, this moon is special because it has oxygen. Okay, I don't have time to model a valve. It's not that deep. Why would there be a Pizza Hut on the moon in the first place? I mean, nobody lives there. Anyways, on the moon, I added some background elements like this rover and this space base. Also, one of the reasons why I love VR is immersing yourself in different environments. My favorite Oculus Home is the Cyberpunk one because it feels alive with all the flying cars. So I downloaded some spaceship models from my favorite modeler, Quantunarius, and I made them fly past to add some atmosphere. Now, usually for the ship trails, you'd make a particle system so it looks realistic, but doing that would waste performance because spaceships are really far in the distance. So instead I just got a giant image of a rocket blast and stuck it on the end of the spaceship. So yeah, that's how they optimize Quest games. Now I need to go and make the ingredients, but before that I need to go eat that pizza. And it was pretty good. Also, subscribing is good, so if you're enjoying the vid, you can do that. Okay, enough of that. Let's go and make the ingredients now. In Catastrophe Pizza, I made so many ingredients. Like this is I don't know what this is. Continuing the trend, I made models of ingredients. You just can't really tell what they are, so you're gonna have to just guess. Now, to get to the functionality of sprinkling cheese, all you need to do is grab it, press a trigger, and you can now pour cheese on the pizza. Of course it doesn't work at first. And I did that for every ingredient, so we can make pizza now. Luckily, this time it does work on the Quest, so that is great. And now we need to make the pizza oven. This feature was only available on the second version of Catastrophe. Before, you'd have to eat the pizza raw, I guess. Instead of using particle effects, I used pixel art fire images, and I just randomly rotated them to give the effect of fire. I created separate models for the cooked ingredients and made a timer widget to show you how long it's been cooked. You really need some greens. Pick it up, toss it. What the f? And now we just need to put it in a box. So on Photoshop, I created some textures for the box and I made it so you can open it. But for my biggest fear, I had to start making customers. But since we're in space, I downloaded alien astronauts from my favorite model, Quantunarius. This one is a frog though, so. And since they don't speak English, I got inspiration from this model, which is a translator from this game called Outer Wilds. So what the aliens will say will go into the translator, which I thought was pretty cool. I finally think it's time to add what really makes VR games feel immersive. You may not think it, but sound is really important in immersing you. I mean, try to play Beat Saber without the sound. It's hard, isn't it? Okay, well obviously that's different, but still, sound is one of the senses as important as sight, in my opinion. I downloaded a whole bunch of sound effects to add atmosphere, such as rocket sounds, fire sounds, footsteps, and I even created some of my own sounds for the aliens. Alright, so I'm gonna record some alien sounds. Then we change the speed. And to make this the cozy game I envisioned, I added my favorite lo-fi soundtrack by Dan to the M, Space Dog. To finish up the game, I made a main menu, and the Quest overlords finally deemed my game acceptable. And to be honest, the game is really just a VR port of that terrible game I made 7 years ago. There isn't really a goal to the game, there's no score, there's no competition, just a simple, cozy game you can immerse yourself in. And I think in both cases, it was really fun to make. I think it's interesting that after 7 years, I'm still making a pizza game that uses basically the same mechanics and also uses visual scripting. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Subscribe.